Hello, welcome to episode 17 of the Zeens and Crochet vlogcast doodah. So I'm not drunk, just laughing at myself because I've got a funny headdress on. Welcome to episode 17. How are you? You alright? I've made a reasonable effort to come dressed as a Halloween creature. I'm not sure what. I've literally just thought, well, I put on some green makeup and I thought, don't quite look like I could be Halloweeny. People might just think I wear green eyeshadow this much. I used to when I was about 26, not anymore. Completely lost my thread already, terribly sorry. Hello, yeah, everything's alright this end. There's not, it's probably not going to be a massive long episode today because I've mostly been swatching, making sort of little crochet swatches for lots of ideas I've got, and I'm not going to show any of those because they're all still very much sort of early works in progress things, but I can show you my little crown I made. That's crafty, so that counts. I made this 2 years ago and it's all glittery. I'm surprised it is still alive, and I've just been rooting through my little dressing up box to get it because I thought, you know, not quite Halloweeny enough, and I found these as I could do it with these. These I made, I don't know, the year before I made this doodah, and I went all in brown and I did my fawn makeup and stuff. I think I just made it up. I saw that somebody had made their own DIY horny jobby. Oh my god. Welcome to episode 17 where I've gone absolutely loopy. I don't know if there's an existing tutorial for these anywhere, but it is literally just like a pair of ears and some paper mache. But I was so impressed when I made these, so impressed. And then one year I just sort of, this is all my Halloween, the past Halloweens of Fresina, just in case. Just did some leaves around my head once. I've got this, so I can be a little princess. I don't know if I made it for me because I don't think it fits my head. It doesn't sit very comfortably. I'm sure that would fall off, blow off in the wind, so to speak. I get quite excited. Do you know when you find the dressing up box? Do you get excited as well? Start trying everything on. There is so much in there. It's unbelievable. I haven't gone through half of it. Witches' hats. I don't know what these plastic flowers are for. Oh look, there's a little mask. Skeleton mask. That's for a small child, not for me. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, I've got a couple of finished things that I want to show you, and oh, have I sunk? And one work in progress. Thank you very much for sticking with the first 3 minutes. Are you still here? So, yes, my first finished object is this, which is the granny square blanket that I'd started last episode, and it was going to be a sort of sporadic every now and again type project. However, I just sort of steamed ahead and made it. Sometimes you just want a project that's going to be easy and relaxing. You don't want to have to use your brain and think about the way a pattern is written or this, that or the other. So I've quite enjoyed just doing something mindless, and actually I think I'm still doing that. I'm still in that kind of zone. I don't want to do anything complicated. I mean, I have sort of been doing a couple of things on the side as well, and that might also be why I'm craving very sort of plain things. This border is slightly different from the first one I did in that I omitted the final couple of colours because this blue I fell in love with, and it's the new Stylecraft lapis, and from what I sort of saw online and stuff like that, a lot of people weren't that fussed about the launch of it. There were a couple of colours that came out at the same time and people kind of went towards those more, but this one, the lapis, is a beautiful blue colour, and I really like Lobelia, and I was so happy when Lobelia came out as well, but I think this one pips it just slightly. That blue on the edge is my new favourite blue from the Stylecraft Special Double Knit. And that is why I chose to finish the blanket on that colour, because it kind of just said it wanted to stop, and so I let it. I know I spoke about it on Instagram, and I asked questions about whether or not people liked to mix their brands of yarn when they worked on a project. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but this is the, oh yes I did, didn't I, because I said I'd bought it, the Aldi acrylic, and then using it with the sort of leftovers of Stylecraft. I say leftovers of Stylecraft, I went out and bought that lapis especially. Not a very good stash buster, am I? Not really. I don't think I'm a fan of mixing brands, I've discovered. Although the difference is quite subtle, it's there. The Stylecraft is probably a bit finer and a bit more sleek and has a vague shine in comparison to this Aldi stuff, which is a bit more fluffy looking. I don't want to say it looks rough, but comparatively it kind of is. But if you were to make a blanket out of this, I don't think anyone would sort of say, yuck, it's horrible. Because it isn't. It's just I think we are spoilt with Stylecraft. Because it is, and that's why it's probably, you know, one of the popular double knits out there, because it's good. It's that good. It's as good as they say it is. So that's that blanket, and then to sort of do an accompanying, so I've got like loads of eyebrow paint on my hand, to do an accompanying thingamajig, I made a tutorial last week about how to do this, because a friend of mine had said that she had started to make one, and when she got to the corners she couldn't turn, or it wasn't easy to turn, it looked sort of awkward or bulky or something like that, and the turn wasn't working for her, and she was like, well, how do you do yours? Why do you turn them? And so I thought I'd do a video to go with it, and so I have. It's up. I've put my thing back on. It's Halloween, I should keep it on. I got a bit excited at the beginning, didn't I? Terribly sorry about that. Last night I decided, because it was Halloween coming up very soon, I needed to make at least one Halloweeny thing this year. And I have sat there last night, got some t-shirt yarn, and I made a spider. Here he is. Oh, you can't see him. There he is. Look. I've made myself a spider to hang somewhere. This is the free pattern that I've got on my blog. And do you remember I talked about it last time? Because I'd made a tutorial on YouTube. The YouTube tutorial was made with Aran Weight double knit. And this is sort of like a good size for, you know, life size, spidery size. But I wanted a big boy, and so I've made this guy. And I wish I'd stuffed him actually. He's not as plump because he's bigger. Obviously the cavity inside is larger, and he needs a little bit of filling out, and I haven't done it. But I used, yeah, t-shirt yarn to make him. I think that's a pretty good spider size. And I've also I went to the hardware shop this morning and bought some wire, and I've made his legs wiry. I couldn't find the garden wire in the shed. I've been out in the shed twice this morning looking for it, braving real spiders and cobwebs to try and find some garden wire for his legs, but in the end I had to go to the shop and buy some. I don't know if you can probably see all that shine is where I've badly not secretly threaded wire through his legs to make him all rigid and more spidery. And then I stuck my fingers together with super glue trying to get his eyes on. I will put a link, because if you want to make a spider, you might want to follow the link to the blog or YouTube. Probably my last finished object this week is some sewing. And you know, I said I had a pile of fabrics and stuff I'd put aside for projects I knew I wanted to make. Well, it probably has been about a month, and I said it would take about a month. And so I finally got my sewing machine out yesterday, but I only made one thing, and I've still got loads of other things I want to make. However, the one thing I did make was a case for crochet hooks. And it is this. It's quite big. And I've had this fabric for maybe 4 or 5 years. I made my niece a dress out of it when she was about 1, and she's 5 now, I think. So I mean, that's how long I've had this fabric kicking around, and I had enough to do something with it. Got myself a nice mustard velvet ribbon to tie it up, and then when you open it, oh, it's upside down. Yes, I knew that. When you open it, you have got a set of pockets. You probably can't see, but you've got, oh, for goodness sake, a set of pockets at this level, and then this set up here, and it's got all my Tunisian crochet hooks in it, which there aren't very many because I don't really do it very often. I've only ever made one project out of Tunisian crochet, and whilst I really like it, actually I made a cowl last year out of some really chunky wool. It's a really good cowl actually. I must dig it out because I haven't worn it this year. It's still not cold enough really for woolly bits. I woke up this morning and on the thermometer it said it was 18 degrees. That was like 6:30 this morning. 18 degrees is very warm for an October morning. Sometimes it could be 3 degrees. Most of the time it would probably be 3 to 5 degrees, not 18. I don't know what it is at the minute, but it's like you don't need a coat. You can go out in a t-shirt in October. That's nuts. So I haven't dug that cowl out, and I haven't bothered doing any sort of further Tunisian stuff, but I've got my hooks and they go in there, and it's just big enough for them. And then if I wanted to put a row of normal sized crochet hooks in the smaller pockets, then I can. It's a bit sort of not clunky, but it's quite big, isn't it? I mean, I suppose you need it to be big, but I think there's too much interfacing. I used a tutorial I found online, and it's called a crochet hook case, and if I wanted it just for normal sized crochet hooks, then that would be enormous. But because I have used that pattern before, I knew it was large, and I actually, the reason I made this one, and I made this one out of all the other ones, was because I'm out of practice really with sort of sewing little projects like this, and I thought it was like my least favourite fabric out of all the things I've chosen, and I thought it would be a good sort of, if I ruined it then I wouldn't be too upset. But as it turns out, I quite like that combination of fabrics and the ribbon and stuff. But I'll put a link to the pattern tutorial thingy, and it makes a better knitting needle case, I think, but you would have to increase the height of the width of the fabric or the length of the fabric or something, because this does not fit my knitting needles, and it would need to be about there. So I think this was like 20 inches by 32 inches, a piece of fabric for the main piece you needed. So I would probably up it to 42 inches. Same width, 20 inches, but I'd up it to 42 inches for that pattern. But if you are interested, then I will definitely link it when I write up my notes and stuff. But as a, you know, as a sewing project, for something I haven't done for a while, I'm pretty pleased. I didn't have to do any unpicking, or it was quite, you know, quite plain sailing. The only thing I don't like is this bottom. It's too wide. This bottom is too big, as usual. It probably should only be a quarter of that width, that depth. And as a consequence, the needles only go to there on the inside as well. So this is just like surplus, flapping around being useless. But I shall, now I've got this, I can sort of store them away nice and tidily. It's not that time, is it? There's a car engine outside. I don't think it's time for anybody to come home. Don't know. So yes, those are my finished projects. Oh no, here's next door. I don't know if you can hear that. Did you hear that? See you in the morning. Am I different light? Does it look different? I bought a light. I'm going to start using it. I bought it for tutorials, but it's so dull outside. I'm shining it on me right now, but I don't know what it's doing until after I've viewed this tape. What's tape? SD card. Until after I've viewed that, I won't know if it's any good or not. On this monitor over here, I'm not sure. It doesn't really look that much different. Would it be annoying if you spend that much money and it doesn't change anything? I mean, it did make the it did make that Rainbow Edge Granny tutorial slightly brighter, but actually the impact was not as big as I'd hoped. Anyway, I can just imagine myself in sort of like every couple of weeks buying another light, or buying some white screen and buying this, buying that, buying the other. I'll have to get myself a studio, waste loads of money for a hobby. I won't do that, because like, that's all money that can go on wall, isn't it? Oh, I haven't bought anything. The last 2 weeks I've not bought anything apart from a pair of scissors that are 80p. I don't think that is. I think I should be proud of myself for that, because 80p is nothing, is it? My wool snipping scissors are a bit blunt, because I did actually just sort of, they were so cheap, another pair of 80p scissors, that I started cutting paper with them and stuff like that, and they've just gone like really blunt. And actually, it's probably like counterproductive, but I always buy the same pair of scissors that are 80p or 79p in some shops, and then I use them so much that they break or they go blunt, so I go out and buy another 80p pair of scissors, when I could probably go out and buy a posh pair of scissors, and well, I'd assume they would go blunt as well, wouldn't they? I don't know. Anyway, works in progress. I'm going to show you. Do you remember I checked, I started it in August, the Weekender blankie. I got, this is another sort of me wanting things that I don't need to worry about, don't need to think about, just do, watch telly at the same time, no stress, stress-free crochet. So I've picked up my Weekender blankie again. I would say it's probably about twice the size as last time, and I think last time was sometime in August. So I think I've established that is going to be its width. I don't know if I'm upside down. No, that is right. So I think that this from here to here or thereabouts will be the width of it. and then I'm going to work down that way until it's a sort of a good rectangle, and I should probably start filling in with half hexies as well, because what I don't want to do is run out at some point of some of the colours and then not have enough to do a nice kind of balance of colours around the edges as well. But this has been sat in the cupboard for a good couple of months and I haven't touched it, and then the other day I went swimming in Sidmouth and went back to my friend's house afterwards and stopped off and had to do a quick sort of mad dash, because she was like, do you want to go and get some crochet? Because she's very thoughtful. Come round to mine and then bring some crochet and you can just sit there and crochet. I'm going to make a cake and then it'll be lovely. And so I sort of did a mad dash, grabbed the nearest thing I could that was easy, and it was this. And so it sort of rekindled a sort of a desire to get cracking on it again. But I've got to make a jumper next week, a cushion for something or other, and there's something else I'm going to make too and I've forgotten what it is. Oh, I think probably I need to dedicate some time to writing patterns up, because I haven't done much. I'm really sorry, in the way of the, so I keep looking at myself because I've got horns on. What have I got? Oh, the holy smokes, sure. My holy smokes. I kind of made a start by making the front page by literally typing in holy smokes, Zeens and Roger, and bunging a picture in, and then deleting. So I just sort of overwrote an old document of a different pattern, deleted all the guff on that one, and put some of the basics in for the holy smokes. But I have not in any shape or form started writing up the actual pattern, because I know that I need to be switched on and concentrating, and it's half term this week so I can't do it this week. But that reminds me, if you were a pattern tester for Off Your Rocker, I sent out emails but I haven't had everybody reply yet as to which pattern you want, because if you were a tester then you could get a pattern just to say thank you. So if you're still thinking about it or had forgotten or whatever, if you can give us a shout about what pattern you want, because I don't want to diddle you. Don't want to diddle you out of a pattern. So yeah, give us a shout. So there's that. And yeah, I tell you what I was going to say, just completely nothing to do with me. One of my bloggy friends sent me a present a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't say anything at the time, and I should have done. I should have shouted it straight away because I love it so much. But I got this. Thank you, Teresa. It's so cute. I'd seen her show it on Instagram, and I said how much I loved it, because I make felt Christmas decorations for my own tree, and one of my grand ideas was to come up with a book for felt Christmas decoration designs, and I couldn't think of an original direction, you know, I couldn't get a decent niche to go to a publisher and say, do you fancy helping me write this book? And I kind of gave up, but I mean, I'm mentioning that because I've got this massive list of Christmas decorations that I have made or I'm going to make for my own tree, and nowhere on none of those lists or have I ever made a donkey. And of course at Christmas you must have a donkey as part of your collection, and so Teresa from Shirley Rainbow sent me one she made, and he is so cute and I love him and he is beautifully made. And I wanted to say that if you want to sort of shop local business, check out Teresa's Folksy page, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying that, because I know that she's got some felt Christmas decorations, and I know that she's got some embroidery on her Folksy shop, and I know that there's a discount at the moment as well. And she doesn't know I'm doing this, so she'll probably get embarrassed. No, you probably won't, will you? You'll probably like, woohoo! But check out her shop. I don't know though if she's got any donkeys, because they are so time consuming that they would cost quite a lot of money, and I understand fully. But look, he's got 2 ears. He's got 2 ears. But if you want, maybe she can make you a bespoke one. I don't know. Am I speaking out of turn? I'm really sorry, but I'll put a link to her shop anyway. And it kind of reminded me that I would quite like to shop local for Christmas this year. Or not shop, well, shop local and shop small businesses as well, because quite often I'm very lazy and just Amazon it, and I think I should be more thoughtful about where my money goes and stuff like that. And so this year I'm going to make more of an effort, and certainly amongst my crafting friends who I've met online and stuff like that, I want to sort of put more of my cash that way, and support them, because it means a huge deal when people are actually willing to invest in you and invest in your time, and that's awesome. So yeah, that's going to be my thing. And actually I should probably start Christmas shopping quite soon, because it's the end of October. It's Halloween on Tuesday. We should probably, I mean, have you started Christmas shopping already? I haven't even thought about it. Yeah, better do that soon. So yeah, yeah. If you like my channel, then give us a thumbs up, and please do subscribe, and all of that gubbins, and I'll see you next time. I know this feels like quite a short one, and I think what I'm going to do is re-record that opening, because that was dreadful. We shall see. You never know what happens when you view it back. Sometimes you might be tickled by what you've done, or other times you just think, get a grip. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. And next time I will probably have massive stash enhancements. Somebody says stash enhancements, don't they? It's not me. I've never said that before. I will have been to Stitchfest, and so hopefully I would have splashed my cash, because I've been you know, I've been good for at least 5 weeks. So I think I'm entitled to treat myself. Cheerio, bye bye.